Are live. Welcome back to another Great War session. I'm trying to make sure my microphone's working. It is. This is our R&R session because we've done 2 missions, and I'm going to do these every so many missions to allow the party to do things beyond just combat because that's all they've done so far. Combat is fun, but I would also like some RP stuff outside of sessions. So he just said that. He just said that. Oh my god. Holy shit. I can't believe that. I hate you. I hate you. I will end you. Never again say that. Yeah, we didn't need that. So, if anyone has anything that they want to do, like who wants to go first with their things that has things that they're planned? Words are difficult. I find hunting relaxing, so you know. I understand this. I've been there. You know his room, so you can go to his room and drop it off at his room, which you passed. You passed his room. It's right here. Oh wait, right here. That's his room. What does this note say that you are dropping off at his room? He said the Nor. Okay. Sure, roll your stealth against his awareness. Okay, let me pull back up his stat block. Wait a minute, I don't need to open it on D&D and Beyond. I literally have his stat block on my OneNote. Where are you going after you deposit this note? Where? You're not telling anyone else about this endeavor? I will make a note. You didn't. You were just told meet me somewhere. It didn't specify you had to be alone. It didn't specify anything else. It just specified I need you to go to a certain place, and that's it. Okay. Yeah, you can roll stealth against your compatriots. What's all of your passive perceptions? What is everyone's passive perceptions as he's creeping around the hallways? I would be able to tell you if I had my phone, but my phone's currently not on me. Okay, 10, 15. Aries. So Blackstone, you would notice that Soap is sneaking around in the hallways. Just come. This is no. He's so afraid. I was gonna say, before you slip into the room, when he mentions the note, you do hear from down the hallway, you hear a voice say, talking about this note. You hear footsteps slowly coming towards the hall, and Ghost appears at the end of the hallway, holding a note between two fingers. He kind of looks towards you and just kind of gives you a nod of like acknowledgement. He kind of looks back and he says, what's this whole thing about? Roll me either roll me deception or persuasion. You roll against his insight. Yeah. He just gives you a look like, I know you're lying to me. Kind of just raises one eyebrow, just like clearly knows you're up to something beyond what you're saying. No, you would know that like there's several like recreational rooms within this space. There should be. Holy fuck, the Discord fucked up again. What the fuck? It was working a second ago. It's fixed now.
You son of a bitch.
Okay, so I've just been talking to myself nonsensical for the last like 10 minutes.
We keep telling you you're schizo, bro.
It's this
You're
program
hearing voices.
This program pisses me off half the time, I swear. Well, I'm gonna have to go into the do we want to restart the stream? Because I didn't really do anything.
But we got
Oh, look,
good character
it's
development.
raw. Yeah, we had the funny. How are you gonna get rid of the funny?
I just hate that I do. This happens to me so much, and I check for it every time, and it still fucks up.
All right, chat, for everyone who's watching, Soap went down to drop off a note, thought he did it stealthily, didn't think anyone heard, and BlackRock popped out, scared the crap out of him. Had a little chit chat. He went back into his room after Ghost appeared.
It's really scary because you expect rocks to pop out of places.
Exactly.
I'm gonna fix this problem by making things disappear. I just figured out that I can hide audio sources on this fucking program, and I never knew about it. I've used it for years. All right. Now that we got that taken care of, Soap questioned him on why. I'm gonna cut some of the VOD down, probably in Discord before I or Twitch before I send it over to YouTube. But Ghost is questioning him on why he left the note and stuff like that. So, back to the explanation. I wish we would have noticed that sooner instead of 8 minutes into the stream. Anywho,
Do you
So-
want to repeat what I said? Or
yes, repeat what you said.
I got sent a message, and I have to go check in on what they're requesting. Just from some friends, especially after what happened with this last mission, they should know.
Kind of just raising an eyebrow at you and just like kind of crosses his arms and just says, and where is this friend that you're meeting up with?
Do I know?
You would know the location you need to go to is somewhere north of here into the mountains, roughly based on what you'd be able to estimate, like 2 days journey.
It's about a 2 days journey into the mountains. I've already packed rations and everything.
He kind of
I fucked myself up really bad by naming my previous character Journey. So every time he sees that word, my ears prick up.
that darn word. He kind of gives a nod and just kind of, looks down the hallway for a moment and kind of looks back. He says, well, I don't have anything planned going on, so I'm going to follow you there to make sure you don't get in trouble.
Why am I not surprised? Alright, grab your shit. Let's go. We'll get you some food.
He kind of gives you a smirk, pats you on the shoulder. And as he turns to walk away from you, he just says, who knows, maybe it'd be nice to have other people join you on this, other than just me. Perhaps you'll bond a little more. And then he just walks off.
Alright, I want to go over to Blackrock. I'm gonna knock on his door.
All right, BlackRock, you just...
We should have like a knocking sound as a button.
Do I have one? Let me see here. Do I have a knocking sound? I have drizzling. Wolves howling? No, that's not it.
I thought I had one. Oh
I
wait,
That's what you hear outside your door.
There you go. I had to go somewhere.
oh wait, wrong one.
What were you about to play? What was that? What were you about to
The
play?
wrong one. No, it was the wrong one. It's cool.
BlackRock,
Yes, hello.
you hear this at your door.
Oh, that was me getting the knock.
Yes.
Huh. I'm peeking. I'm cracking the door open. Like, hey, what's up?
You doing anything in the next 5 days?
5 days. Just 1 second. I'm gonna rush over. I got like a calendar hanging up on the wall over here.
Is empty.
Just murder,
Is
murder,
there?
murder,
It's
murder.
completely empty.
It's completely empty.
God, no.
I can't cancel that again.
I can't.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's
Listen,
5
man,
o'clock with me.
My
I
book
can't-
is completely empty. I'm sorry. I can't make it.
What?
Alright.
I'm joking. I'm a nod to him and be like, yeah, I don't think I got anything going on.
If you want to
Let's get it.
take a trip up to the mountains, that's where I'll be heading.
What exactly would this be entailing? Are we expecting something or?
I can't really say for sure. So something. Yeah. Something's happening. I don't know.
Might as well make sure you don't get in trouble. I close the door. I come over here. I grab all my wizarding gear, throw on my duster, and I walk back up to the door. Like, all right, let me out of here.
I'll go down, knock on Cyclops.
You know, you saw him walking down the halls. I don't know where he ended up. He's disappeared somewhere on the map.
The door's left open, so I'm just gonna look in and be like, Continue down.
Where is he on the map? He's disappeared. Oh,
This door's
I know where
open
he
as
is.
well. Are you decent?
I'm just fucking chilling.
You're in the shooting range. I was like, where is he?
In the center of the
I'm
room.
straight chilling, bro. I'm
Right.
tweaking the sights. I'm tweaking the sights. You know, gotta make sure we all lined up. We scoped up.
Wrath, Soap walks through your front door or through the door of your room.
Hey, are you
The door's
decent? As he
open.
runs in.
Yeah, hey, you decent?
Wrath? Wrath is
So I was
disappeared
laying
again.
there, barbecue sauce on my titties.
Man, and you're a
Alright.
dog too.
She's in a coma.
Apparently.
Knock knock on Anthony.
I would be so afraid to knock on his door. Just hear skittering
I am
towards the door.
terrified. Soap is looking back at Blackrock like I may die here.
We don't know what Anthony will do to me.
I don't even know what his room looks like. It could be a dungeon for all I know.
Anthony,
Is
you
Anthony
hear
not responding?
you hear
Huh? Did he knock on my door?
yeah.
He didn't knock.
I did. I knock knock.
I heard, "Are you decent?" and walked in.
No, that was
Oh
Wrath.
no, that was with Wrath.
Ah,
Are you doing anything the next couple days?
No.
Do you want to go do something?
No.
Do what?
I have to make a trip up to the mountains.
Are you asking if I want to come with?
I was told by Ghost it is probably best that I invite the rest of the fire squad so that we could bond.
I guess I'll go.
All right.
When you put it that way, you sound reluctant as shit.
Originally, it was just gonna be like, all right, I'm going up to the mountains, seeing what the fuck's going on. Then Ghost over here, like, you gonna be a little bitch and go by yourself? What are you, antisocial, huh? Hmm?
Pissing all by yourself, handsome.
Are you watching porn? Oh wait, I can't say that.
No,
I can't say. I said I can't say. I got.
I'm with the science team.
I'm with the science team. Yeah.
oh.
All right, so I guess we all grab rations. I'm gonna gesture for Black Rock and Anthony to follow. Don't know what Rat's doing. She's just out cold in her bed. Where the hell is the food at?
Oh, you would get rations from. You have some in your armory, but you
You
guys
ain't
have
even
access to
gonna
your
get
armory.
no coffee before you leave. It's like 4 a.m.
Bro, the sun's been up. The sun, it's like
Oh,
It's
I got
like
up as
4
soon
in
as
the
the sun
morning.
rose.
yeah, it's like 6 in the morning. It's the day just
It's like
started.
4 in the goddamn morning, bro. We ain't even get no coffee.
I don't even know, dude. I have no idea where Cyclops is at.
Well, I'm gonna go to take a shit real quick. I'll be back. Is
What
this
the
even a
fuck?
bathroom? I don't think this
No, this is this the armory.
Where the fuck is the bathroom?
I forgot to install bathrooms in the armories or the barracks, so you have to go to a different
Alright.
building.
The one outside.
Yeah, there's another building between the barracks. So like the way I have it set up is there's 3 barracks for your guys's platoon. No, sorry, there's 2 barracks, 1 for each platoon, and then between those barracks is like the bathhouse. So you have to walk between buildings in order to get cleaned up or use the bathroom.
Damn. They really should fucking shorten us on the barracks here.
The true military experience, I tell you what.
Really, actually.
Ooh. Okay, I got it fixed.
Oh, been shot.
Was it loud? I turned
No, it
it
wasn't.
down.
It wasn't that loud.
Okay, cool.
You want to find Cyclops? Stop it.
We
You want to
have no
find
idea where
Cyclops? right?
Cyclops is.
That's
You
what
do
I'm
hear-
doing.
You do hear someone in the shooting range on the southern part of the
Shooting
complex.
guns.
Dude, I have no idea how to get there.
That's right here. Blackstone is at the door.
Hello, I am here. Is this
Dude,
the
why am I
bathroom?
rotated?
No. Okay.
No. You trying to unrotate?
Trying to rotate, bro. As soon as I figure out, remember how. Oh yeah, it's the arrow keys. Nope. it's
No,
not.
you hit shift and then the arrow key.
Ah, yeah.
Where's dude? You're smoking
going.
dick. Cyclops ain't
Keep
here.
no, you didn't go far enough down.
Where?
You're on top of him.
This fucking guy.
Do you not see him?
No, I can't see him. What are you talking about? Where?
This guy.
I'm watching from the door, just where is he? As he's like shaking the guy he's looking for.
Oh, okay. Now he appeared on my screen. I couldn't see him. Hey,
Door.
does he have like earmuffs on? I'm assuming if he's in a indoor
Yes.
shooting range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tap on his shoulder.
I fucking swing the fucking gun around. I don't think you understand, man. I turned that shit like, what are you doing here?
And he's shouting. You're shouting, by the way, too.
Yeah, I can't shout too loud. What are you doing?
I'm just. Are you gonna be busy in the next couple days? I don't know if you're doing anything.
I am visibly shaking.
Oh, I'm gonna be going up to the mountains. Is he the dog meme? Is that what I'm seeing?
No, my timbers are shivered. From the last endeavor that we had. Literally my last meeting with you.
He did see you turn into a big scary monster man.
And I didn't like it at all.
Listen,
I
all right,
still don't.
I'm going up to the mountains, taking a little trip. If you would like to join, you can. If you're doing something else, all right, I'll be gone for 4 or 5 days.
I would like to go hunting for some giant deer monsters.
All right.
Oh.
He's gonna go hunt giant deer monsters.
All he wants to do is kill, bro.
I don't know where to find them.
I don't think you're gonna like where we're going then.
We're going to a mountain. It could happen.
We're gonna go meet some friends. It definitely will happen.
Giant deer monsters?
Yeah. I can tell you a story along the way. All right. We all grab rations. Do I need to actually physically move over there, or can we just say we grabbed them?
We can just say we grabbed him.
Is Wrath coming? I don't.
Is Wrath at their microphone?
She is probably still in her room, probably deep in prayer.
So you walked in on her
knocked on the door,
praying.
that's-
Yeah, you
Actually,
came in.
I
She was
stood
praying
there in the doorway and just stared into her soul.
So you go back in there. You just walking
How I
in.
see her messing up like that.
Decent. Busting through the door.
Yeah, she'd be fully
Hey,
clothed.
you got clothes on?
Yeah. she's probably you see her kind of like at like a desk, probably that's like in like her prayer. She's probably kind of like almost like a trance, like messing with like her reliquary. You see is almost like a clock.
I'll make a note real quick. Your desk is right here.
Oh, thank you.
That's you're standing at your wardrobe.
She's deep in thought at her desk, stands in wardrobe.
T-posing.
And her prayer wheels almost it's kind of like looks like a clock face, and like her kind of like method of worship almost looks like she's like interacting with like the clockwork mechanisms of them like both in tandem, in like ways you might not.
I don't understand what's going on here, but do you want to go to the mountains and go on a little trip? Gonna be like 2, 3, maybe 5 days. It's a 2-day journey at minimum.
She'll look over at you, kind of like not even skipping a beat with like her like work, and just kind of nod.
You could take stuff. You're good. Do they have like a land the Dune Rider here?
You would know the base has various. I'm going to put quotations motorized vehicles.
All right, probably take one of those. Or what kind of vehicles are we talking about?
You don't know what you can necessarily get your hands on. You did see after you walked away from the others, Ghost did just kind of like sometime after you got down the hall, like turn on his heels and just kind of make his way towards the front of the building.
All right, I'll head towards the front. I'm not gonna move my character, but yeah, I'll head towards the front.
Yeah, we're just gonna jump to here.
RP it from there.
We're gonna go to the waiting feedback screen.
Mutant on Radion, boys. Let's go.
So, I don't have any pictures made for like the actual mountain range and stuff. And we'll use this as like the transitioning thing of like when I need to do the RP. So you step out of the front of the building. The others with you kind of walking out, and you would see go some distance away towards where the motor pool. And as he's going, you would also notice, because you know him, you know the way he operates. Technically, you're not supposed to bring certain equipment off of the base, especially the powerful relics that some people do have. You know that Ghost doesn't follow that rule. He keeps his armor on him at all times, so he always uses it, even though he's not supposed to. But you do see him disappear into the motor pool. Are you going to follow suit and go towards the motor pool?
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys approach the motor pool, the kind of big building that they kind of keep all these various vehicles in, you would notice one of the garage ports kind of open up, and out would come a not the Dune Strider, the thing that you rode. You remember the Dune Runners or the Dune Racers? I mean,
Yeah, I remember those.
he comes out in one of those.
For those
Alright.
uninitiated.
I'm gonna gesture for him to get out the driver's seat.
He kind of rolls his eyes at you and kind of scoots over into like the middle seat of the front. This vehicle in particular is one of the bigger ones. It is equipped with 9 seats in total, which is like 3 rows of seats within this vehicle. Fairly large vehicle, so there's a lot of space in it. So where does everyone want to sit within this motor vehicle?
Is there like what kind of vehicle is it? Is it like a truck or like an SUV or?
It's closer to like, it's built like a truck with the space of like an SUV on the inside. That makes sense.
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's a Humvee.
Yeah, it's a Humvee. I don't know my cars all that well.
You're good. You're good.
I know how they work. I know the spacing in them. I couldn't tell you the names of different ones. I could point to one and be like, yeah, that's good for people. That one's not.
Yeah. Back right. Actually, which side is the steering wheel on?
The right side, like, no. The left side of the car, like it should be. Sorry, said it wrong.
Okay. All right. Well, there
I
goes half
played-
your audience.
No,
Is
they know they're wrong. They know they're wrong. It's fine.
So back right. So I can keep
Yes.
an eye on the driver at all times.
Okay. Where's everyone else sitting within this motor vehicle?
I mean, I guess I'll be in the back.
Yeah, get in the back.
Center or left side?
I'll go left.
Okay. Anthony?
Sit in the center.
Middle.
Middle? Like middle of everything?
Yeah.
Okay. And Wrath, where do you want to sit?
Wherever I fit.
There's the front right seat, there is the right and left
passenger
middle
princess.
seat, and then the back middle seat.
Front.
Okay, you sit in the front with Ghost and Soap. You're sitting next to the cleaner of the two. The one who actually keeps
Oh no,
himself well
I
kept.
would have showered. I would have
Oh, you
showered.
would've?
I'm actually. You could see my true fur color at this.
You can
point.
actually see the white fur instead of the thick brown gunk that's usually on you.
Yeah, I haven't had time to dirty myself.
Ah. Okay. So yeah. All of you pile into this vehicle. Ghost just kind of leans towards you once everyone gets in and just goes, let's try to make it quick, because technically we're not supposed to have this. But no one's gonna bat an eye because I'm pulling a favor for this.
I'll slip him the note so that he could. Is it a note or how did I receive this message?
It would have been a note, but it would have been written not quite Thieves' Cant, kind of an alteration of Thieves' Camp that like
Is it my
speci-
fucking the Minecraft enchanting?
Yes, that's what it would be. I forgot. I was like, is it Minecraft Enchanting Table? Is how it writes? Yes, it is written in
Yeah.
Minecraft Enchanting Table.
I think we called it Zimian at this point.
No, because Zimian is actually its
No.
own language and it's different.
Oh, it's
But,
actually a thing. It's not a meme.
no. Zimian's an actual language in D&D.
Dude, that's crazy.
I use Zimian in this game like quite a bit. Like Zimian is a language that I've been using. It's what Gorgana speaks for the most part is Zimian.
That's wild. All right, yeah, that's what we're. I'll just show him that.
He'll take it and he'll kind of read over it while you start driving, making your way to like the front gate. As you guys kind of get up there, he just kind of pulls something out of his cloak and just kind of flashes it at the window. He kind of just slams his hand against the window with it, and the guard that's at the gate kind of looks at it, and just kind of waves you through. And you head off into the mountains. This is an off-road vehicle, so it is made for this kind of terrain. It wouldn't be too hard to get into the mountains. It's still going to take you a bit. It's not going to take as long because you're used to walking everywhere. It'll
Yeah, I'm
take
just used
you
foot.
most of the day to get there, mainly because you're going to be navigating thin mountain trails and stuff. But you will be getting there fairly easily. Is there any RP anyone wants to do in the vehicle while you're all driving?
What's the weather like?
I'm gonna roll a d6.
It
It's
immediately
partially-
begins
yeah,
pouring snow.
It is partially cloudy with a possible forecast of rain later in the day.
Okay, so I am leaning my head against the window like it is a 2006 music video.
Oh my god!
And
Oh, an edgy boy.
and I'm pretending that there is a little man doing parkour outside the window.
Oh my god, he's doing the thing! This is my childhood. Okay.
I'll speak up and say, um, I apologize for the inconvenient transformation last mission. I know to most of you that might seem alarming, but it's nothing you should worry about. It's not a curse of any sort.
Sounds like a curse.
Yeah. No.
That your magic expert says that this is actually a curse.
You're more than welcome to take a look, see if you could see anything. Would he see? Hold on, I'm gonna send you something, Tyler. If BlackRock does.
Uh-oh.
I'm a rock now.
It's not Blackstone, he's Black Rock.
Blackstone. Whatever.
Black rock and stone.
Yeah.
Oh, who's an edgy boy? Who's an edgy
Who's
boy?
an edgy
You
boy?
are.
What a hot take.
That's a great picture. I love that picture of Dev.
I sent you. No, he
No.
wouldn't.
No, because
Ah.
he has no part in it technically. He helped create it, but he didn't. It's not attached to him.
Even the latter of the one, there wouldn't be like an inkling of the spirit.
Well, your transformation is that inkling, considering you represent it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Um,
And Hume.
yes, it's not a curse. I can promise you.
Arcana check.
Roll an Arcana check.
I rolled a natural 20.
Wow. You've never seen this kind of. We're not going to call it a curse. This affliction, I guess we'll say.
If it matters, it's a total of 29.
It doesn't. You've never seen this type of affliction before, and you've definitely heard of the Wendigo spirit and how that works. This neither shows the signs, though, of like a sort of curse, nor any like it shows signs of the Wendigo, but not the normal signs of craving of flesh, the random aggression, desire for isolation, hanging out in colder places, stuff like that. None of that is present. Soap seems to have full control of himself 95% of the time. With the occasional can't control transformation when he takes too much damage type thing. And you would also be able to kind of notice.
Boy, how in the fuck?
You would also be able to notice that this is very similar to, because you do know he's a blood hunter based on how he is performed. It's very similar to those of the Order of the Lycanthrope.
You see, that makes sense.
Where it's a self-afflicted curse, therefore taking away the curse part of it, making it more just something they can use to their advantage.
He did this to himself. Oh my god. Who's an edgy boy?
Who's edgy boy? Your statements are so controversial.
Ooh, what a hot take.
It's gonna be the quote for the rest of the campaign. That picture better keep appearing every session. I swear. If it appears enough, I'm gonna have to drop it onto the map at some point just so chat can see it.
Alright, every time somebody comes to a decision, we need to post this picture.
Who's an edgy boy?
Bro, I'm edging right now.
As he's staring out the window. Okay, but yes, that's what you got out of that. Your kind of knowledge, kind of pulling into the recesses of your mind and pulling out that information.
I'm going to simply nod and just go back to messing with my unloaded revolver.
It goes off. Oh no, it wasn't unloaded.
Hey, oh god, I forgot there's magic in it.
Oh god.
The magic expert, everybody.
The god of wisdom, everyone. No. Anyone else have anything else they'd like to RP, or is it just like the awkward, quiet road trip of everyone just kind of twiddling their thumbs, staring out the window, and messing with things.
I
Staring
see
at other
it's
people.
driving in Final Fantasy 15.
Is that how it is in that game? I've never played it.
Yeah, like 90% of traveling in that game is by car, and it is silent.
That is
Just like
fucking.
real life.
That's fucking horrific.
I actually like it. It's a very relaxing game. Anyway.
No, I mean just the traveling. That just sounds horrific.
I mean, there are ways to fast travel, but it takes away a lot of the bonding aspect, because there's a lot of stuff that happens while you're traveling in the car. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Bonding in silence.
We're
Okay.
bonding in silence as a party. Hold on. See now I gotta
Oh
gotta
god.
post the thing. now.
Does Ghost have any questions on the writing?
He kind of like sits there for the longest time, just kind of staring at it. You've never shown him any of this writing before. There is a period of time that you actually see him like reach into his pack and like pull out like a small notebook and just starts like scribbling in it.
I'll start
Um,
pointing to different symbols and like what they mean, like what letters are what. I'm not gonna
Okay.
tell him what it says. That's not the fun of teaching. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, you see him like after like several hours of just like doing this. Eventually you just see oh god, it's this video, the Germa video. You eventually see like he has this like whole key written out on this notepad. And is kind of like nodding several times and kind of reads over the letter once or twice once he like has this key or whatever. And it just kind of blinks a few times at it, a little confused by the words of it, and just kind of looks to you and just says, I know you don't talk much about your friends, I guess, outside of Osman. Is there anything I should know before we run into any of them?
Are you familiar? I don't know if stories would have made it to this country. Have you heard any rumors of the um what's some names you might go by? The dragon armored monk.
I will say rumors have reached this far, but they are nothing but rumors. And it's mainly just the mentioning of him during certain major events in uh the fuck was the country called? It's been so long. Why have I forgotten the first country we used?
It's not Almoria. That's a
Almoria. It is
city in it.
Almoria. No,
Is it
Almoria is
Almoria?
Almoria was the country. Yes.
My home.
Yes, the stories from Almoria, because those stretch far and wide because it was a huge war between them and Sarstag. So a lot of stories of like what happened in the war and stuff like that, reached out to these other countries eventually. It has also been 20 years, so like there is history written on what happened. But he just kind of mentions, he says, I've heard the name in, reading, but I've not really thought anything of it.
That would be the leader of the Order of the Starving Spirits, which I'm a member of,
Kind of gives a nod
amongst other collectives he started.
and kind of just gives a nod and says, definitely an interesting name. So I'll keep that in mind. Is there anything I shouldn't
So-
do when I run into him if we end up beating him here?
I don't think you have anything to worry about. In the years I've known him, I don't know what he was gonna do. He's a loose cannon, especially for a monk. He's a loose cannon.
Gives a nod. Kind of wonders about it for a moment and just says, "All right, I'll keep that in mind. I guess I don't have anything to worry about with this then."
You shouldn't. If I don't know exactly who we'll be meeting, but if it's last I heard, his group was still setting up camp. We have other scouting parties sent out. Me being, or I was sent out with another member in one of these scouting parties,
The one
and
we
found my
looked
way
for
into
when
the armory.
we found you.
Yes.
Kind of clenches his jaw a little bit and kind of gives a slight nod. Still, him still clearly remembering the anger you showed whenever you guys did find his body.
I'm hoping the others are faring well, but I have some concerns. Do you recognize that guy that we interacted with, the hooded figure?
He shakes his head and says, "No, I've never seen anyone like that, encountered anyone like that, but there was something about him that I feel like I've read about before. But I'm not quite sure on the matter."
He had written something on the wall in this kind of language, and I'll tap to the paper, indicating friends nearby. So if he knows that language, that leads me to believe that maybe a few other of the scouting parties have been taken out by him.
It's a possibility. Can't take that off the table ever.
Which is why we need to. I'm going to have to relay that we need to change our coding.
Kind of gives a nod and you're clearly thinking back to like the whole situation of watching uh Vex, not Vex, Ven go
Then
down, very close to Vex. Ven go down and watching you actually lose it the way that he's seen you do it once before and vowed that he did not want to ever see it again and clearly failed at stopping it the second time. And he kind of just like goes quiet for a while. If you have something else to say, this would be the time, but
who knows if the master is there? Maybe this message will, get him out of his damn bed. Hell, he might even send in some other troops. Who knows? We'll see.
he gives a nod or two more and like looking back at the note again, kind of seeing the location listed on it, and kind of looks around outside the window for a moment at the front windshield and kind of points you towards a like a ridge that you almost missed, like kind of this ravine to drive it, not a ravine, this kind of pass that you almost missed, as he kind of points to it as you guys like rapidly approach it, just kind of says just points and just like turn there. He like
Alright, I'll turn.
folds a note. It just says if this is the place I think it is, I've actually stumbled upon it once a few years back. And
Yeah, I'll pull up. I'm gonna mute myself real quick.
yeah, okay. So a lot of you get, the drive lasted probably 6-8 hours. You guys kind of pull up to this large cave within this almost like ravine-ish type space, this valley of sorts between mountains.
Mhm.
And as you kind of pull up and stop, you can see a very dim light flickering inside of this cave. Kind of the visibility out here, just because of the wind and the snow getting picked up off the higher points and like falling down around you guys, kind of making it a little bit tricky to see. And as you guys kind of stop, Ghost just kind of looks back to the rest of you and just says, "We're here. Best, let's all stay close, and we'll let Soap go first."
Of
All right,
course.
I'll get out. Is there any writing anywhere?
I can actually
Oh, we have
show
a
you guys
map.
what you see. Yes, you have a map here. I made this map. I was very ready for this.
Are we
So,
there yet?
when you guys arrive, you guys are the car is just outside of sight or whatever. And you can see in front of you a cave. You can see as you kind of get out and start like making your way towards it, you do see two individuals sitting within the cave. One orcish individual dressed in very fine, like black plate armor. Female, sitting next to a smaller, more petite, tiefling individual who is currently playing. I think the lyre. I want to say was the instrument. And you
Alright,
hear the
yeah,
music
we'll head
from
out.
this individual's lyre like playing. Um, and you can hear from deeper within the cave where that light is. You hear a few voices speaking to one another.
Do I
Um,
recognize either of the individuals?
as you
Outside.
approach, you have seen them before. They are Hopebringers. Well, one of them is. The other one's more of she just tags along. You've met them once or twice before. You do know all of the Hopebringers' names just because Errol often has not meetups, but like rendezvous with these individuals for certain tasks, essentially. And as you kind of approach, you would recognize the two that are sitting there is Galnora and Journey.
Let's go.
Um,
They
how-
would. I'm assuming that they would have known Soap from when he was younger, because he got picked up by the group when he was like 8.
yeah. As you approach, Journey kind of offers you a smile. While Galnora gives you kind of a nod. Just, not stern look on her face, but like she seems more interested listening to Journey play her lute than talking.
Long time no see. What brings you guys up here?
As Journey keeps playing, Galnora kind of looks towards you and just says, Errol sent us up here. I think Cal's inside waiting for you.
All right. Do you guys know what this is about? I don't know what this is about.
She kind of gives a shrug. Just says, we never know what it is with Errol. He's always been the
Yeah, that sounds
unpredictable type.
about right. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I'll head in. I'll look back and I guess gesture. The others want to come.
Rest of you following suit?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Get me out of this cold.
This seems interesting.
So the lot of you head towards the entrance of. So this front entrance, as you enter the cave, you do see what looks to be a almost ruined stone structure of sorts, resembling that of like a temple. Um, I will say no. If anyone would like to roll religion, they
God.
can identify what temple this is for, which god or goddess this is for.
I got a 20.
That is
Would this be
sufficient.
considered a fey, fiend, or undead?
No.
I got
Or
an
they-
18.
Okay.
I got a 17.
That is sufficient for all of those. Looking at the markings on the stones of this temple, and also a few of the stones having these various symbols on them that seem to mean something of some sort. You would know that this is one of the many hidden temples of, I want to make sure I say her name correctly, the goddess Vira,
Oh god.
aka
Is this who I think
the
it
goddess
is?
of vipers.
Yeah.
And with these temples, I will say the only person that would truly remember this perfectly is Blackstone, who would remember that these temples were always hidden away, and kind of her following has dropped a bit, mainly because a lot of the groups that follow this goddess are very secretive and do not often associate with the public domain, just because she's a little bit of a controversial goddess to worship, if that makes sense. Considering a lot of her followers are looking for means of revenge or deception, as well as many of them are hunters of secrets as well.
Would I recognize this goddess from any of the talk within the order?
You've heard her name thrown about a few times. You definitely know that Errol has a slight obsession with this said goddess. As he,
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
the few times you've heard her name mentioned, he almost has a tick to him whenever he's talking about her. So yeah, you know of her.
I'm just yeah. Oh god. Yeah, as we kind of enter in, like recognize, I'm just like, oh god, why is it one of these? Jesus.
As Soap kind of comes in behind you, he just kind of says, "It's been a very long time since I was last here."
You know what this place is?
Yes. I may have for a time debated following said religion before realizing the kind of people that do.
Oh, just pat him on the shoulder and you're like, smart. All right,
I'm more of a military
head
man.
on. I think that would fit in.
Anthony and Wrath, are you coming in?
Sure. Why not? Right?
Gotta move your tiles. I'm just like, I'm watching you guys. I'm just
Joiny's
like,
here. It's Joiny.
Yes.
not that far.
Oh, my screen's black. I might not be reload.
I'm loving the Galnora skin.
Oh, you
the
weren't
image.
even in the server anymore. I think you went inactive for too long.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I'm back now.
you said you liked the Galnora picture.
Yeah,
She's
that's
pretty
pretty good.
badass. She's
They
pretty
went the journey
badass.
one.
Let's see what
They're
my
both
wife
very
looks
good
like.
pictures.
There she is.
See, there's your wife.
Very
Oh,
scary lady. As you come into the room, you see a human sitting by the fire, which you would know to be Zeal. A satyr off to the side, the left side, who's named Archimedes. An elven man by the name of Gideon on the right side, and then in the back you recognize the familiar blessed Kenku by the name of Jabbers, who, upon all of your entry, kind of, who's back there, playing his own instrument, kind of, upon seeing you in particular, Soap, kind of gets to his feet and kind of does like a welcoming gesture of sorts and says, I want to make sure that I had the right. Yeah, he's one of the ones who calls you by your actual name. As he kind of steps up, he just says, Luton, it's been a while since we last seen each other.
It has. How have you been, old friend?
It's been going well, except for the amount of war and torture we've been seeing, but well, it comes with the territory.
Well, yeah, it's with this scale of a war, you're bound to see it everywhere.
And kind of gives you a nod, and then kind of gestures to the door behind you, or not behind you, but up here, and just kind of says, Cal is waiting for you inside. He did ask that you do come in alone. But we can entertain the rest of your friends.
All right, yeah, I'll just look back, nod, and like, all right.
I don't like the way he put the.
You don't like the way
entertain you.
he like stopped for a second.
I don't like how he stopped for a second. Hold on, I have a meme for this.
You have a meme for this. Okay,
Action.
you got a meme for everything.
Yes, I do.
Oh my god, I know the meme. He kind of looks to the rest of you and says, like after pausing for a moment, just says, so how do all of you know Soap? Or not Soap, yeah, how do all of you know Ludum? We'll do this RP real quick before.
I kind of just I kind of look back at our military vehicle we rolled in on and go, I know him from around.
I just work with him.
He kind of gives a nod and just says, fair enough.
What about you? From what I remember hearing, you said you brought him into the family here.
Oh no. I have worked with those that he works under for some time. Mainly in situations like these, where we're trying to bring hope and balance to war-torn areas.
I see.
I haven't seen Hope Bringers for quite some time. Not since I left home.
Kind of gives a nod and says, we were out of commission for a time of not doing too much travel ourselves. It has been better now that we've actually been partaking in these situations and helping those that need it, but I will say it is bringing a bit of the trauma back from the time that I spent in the war in Almoria.
Yes. My parents died before. That's what brought me into the faith.
I just got pulled in rapidly.
A bit.
It startled the shit out of me.
I gotta do something real quick.
Okay.
No, keep going. I just go quiet.
Yep. He kind of gives a nod to you, Wrath, and just says, it did with many people. I myself experienced a few very unpleasant situations from that, but I did gain something from it. And he kind of moves his hands to the side a little bit as if to kind of like gesture to himself as he kind of spreads the large black like raven-like wings from his back. He says, as most people know, us Kenkus aren't exactly blessed with our previous ability of flight and speech. So even though I suffered, I managed to get something that most of my kin don't get. And if that is it for your all talking, we jump back to Soap. Soap, as you enter the chamber, you see, mostly in ruins, a very large serpent statue near the back with this kind of green haze floating around it. And you can see on this kind of what looked to once have been probably an altar space on this like marble slab. You can see Cal sitting behind the kind of space, kind of. He's not paying you any mind as you come in. He's kind of leaned forward, looking at his deck of cards in front of him, the tarot cards you know that he's used many a times before. The first time you ever met him, he actually did read your fortune from these cards. And as you get within probably 30 feet of this table, he kind of glances up towards you. His familiar, the red weasel that you know he has, by the name of, I want to say it's Briskles. I want to say that was his weasel's name. I've had like 4 NPCs that have weasel familiars, and I need to make sure that this one is his. Cal. Yeah, Briskles. As you, the weasel kind of peeking out from the vest he's wearing, kind of looking towards you and like tilts his head curiously before kind of sliding its way down his arm and onto the table and kind of like coming to the edge of the little slab to like kind of greet you.
I'll scratch its head. You know, give it some love.
It accepts the scratches, and you can see on the table with your passive perception be quite easy. There are 3 cards out that are already out. And I need to give you the descriptions of each card. The first card you would see is the card where the side facing you looks to be a human child standing before an open. No, sorry. A human boy crouching in a dark forest, scared alone as he cries into the night. The side that's upside down of you being that of a human child standing before an open doorways with silhouettes with open arms before them as if to embrace them. You do not recognize this card. You did not get this card when you previously drew from this deck. Or not drew from this deck, but
So
you
this
had
is my past.
I'm not going to say anything on that.
All right.
That's the first card you see. The second card, let me get this right so I can actually see both at the same time. I have 2 different notes pages that I'm looking at the same time. There you go. The second card is the side facing you is a horned devil with a hellstone staff in hand and large leathery wings extended as if to be looking down at the other side of the card, which the side upside down of you is that of an angelic being, wings spread and a divine sword drawn and ready. This kind of divine light coming off of the side that's upside down to you, and more of a brimstonic kind of fire on the other side that's facing you. And then the last card is you see a cloaked figure located at the top of the card, looking towards you in the direction, as it reaches down towards this beautiful diamond at the bottom of the card. The face of the individual is covered by a shadow, while its hand is about to touch the gem within the picture. And
I'm kind of, Oh,
So as you kind of like come up and you kind of he notices you seeing these cards and he looks tired. Cal looks very tired. As Cal kind of looks up to you, he just says, "You're a bit later than I thought you would be, Ludum, whatever your fucking name is. I keep forgetting it. Yeah, Ludum.
I had some tag-alongs, doing more card readings, past, present, future kind of stuff.
Yes. I assume you thought you'd see other people than us when you came here.
I don't know what to expect, especially with him. I'll pass him the note and be like, with how vague this was, I honestly figured I was walking into another trap.
That is Errol's way. Never really
We
learned
always
even.
talked about these cards.
They're the reason I'm still alive and the reason a lot of people have been able to avoid certain things.
Didn't you tell him he was gonna die on several occasions?
And he did at one point, but he was brought back.
Yeah, that is true. He's a lucky bastard.
I don't know if it was entirely luck,
Go find a bed.
but definitely does have that on his side.
You know, as they say, if you're gonna be dumb, at least be tough. And he definitely fits that criteria.
He nods, and you see him kind of tapping a claw over and over again on the last card, the one of what looks to be a thief. Not necessarily trying to point you to the card, but just kind of like in his own thoughts about the card.
So, why was I summoned? 'Cause you look tired as all hell.
He sent me in particular on a wild goose chase that inevitably ended empty-handed. And I had some information that I got for him that, well, inevitably ended up being something similar to what you had for him.
The hooded figure? Or are we talking about something different?
We came in a close call with an individual that we had never seen before that nearly took Jabber's life. And if it's the one
A
that I
Lupin.
think... No. Not quite. He transformed into that beast that we ended up fighting. Well, the beast that me and the party I was with when I was traveling with Errol had to fight when we were in the meat grinder. He's probably told you the stories of the simulacrum that we had to destroy when we accidentally burned down the ancestral tree of the individuals down there.
I guess it's similar, which explains why he's looking for Errol. I guess a vendetta. He mentioned Errol took something of his.
Well, when he attempted to kill Jabbers, he made a comment about he was there when his master fell. And before we got away, he did look to me and say that I was on the list to be taken out as well at some point.
Do you have these on him? And I'll pull out the Ven's coin.
He looks a little confused by it, kind of tilting his head slightly and kind of holding a hand out towards it.
I'll pass it to him and I'll just say it's a soul coin of some sort. I've seen Master do something similar, but these are different.
You see him as you place this into his hand. You actually see the tattoo on the back of his hand, the one of the dragon's eye, begin to glow. And he tenses up for a moment, kind of clenches his jaw as it kind of is placed into his hand. And you see for a moment him kind of strain slightly before kind of letting out a sigh and like closing his eyes for a moment. When he opens them, they're like a milky white. And you've seen Cal do this once. It's one of his kind of trances he ends up going into for whenever he does fortune telling. And there's a moment he is pausing, and like as he's doing this, and the milky white in his eyes kind of turns to this almost like pinkish color for a moment. And as he opens his mouth, not mouthing the words that come out, but there is words that come from his mouth that say, you hear a voice. I don't think you heard this voice before, that says, "Why won't you let him come to me?" And then the
Can I
moment
do
you can roll history. I'll keep my explaining. If you want to roll a history check.
Yeah, you keep explaining more.
Yeah. As the moment he finishes saying that, his mouth snaps shut. He does drop the coin onto the slab in front of him, and kind of is like panting for a moment, and kind of like shudders, and then looks to you, clearly showing the expression of something had just occurred, and just says, "What did I just do?"
You asked why I won't release him, and I was gonna say, can I roll a history? And is this a fey, fiend, or undead?
You get advantage on this.
Okay, with the advantage, I got an 18. No, I got a 19. I have a +1.
Okay, it ties back to the information you would recall before of the fey creature, the ancient axolotl. The thing that you knew that Ven was in a pact with. And you recognize the same thing of this entity is trying to get his soul as due for the pact as he did pass on.
I plan on releasing him probably today. I just figured if I was coming to a meeting that seeing this coin may jog people's memory if they've interacted with this individual.
Cal kind of gives a nod and lets out another sigh, kind of straightening himself back up, straightening his vest a little bit. And just says, on a different note, Errol was here roughly 30 minutes before your arrival. I don't know how he disappears as quickly as he does, but he's gotten better at it than he used to be.
Yeah, sounds about right. He knows I'm here.
He
I'll
was
just kind
a
of look at the ring.
bit concerned by the fortune I gave him as he kind of looks back to the cards again.
Oh, this is his.
I've never drawn the thief for him before, especially in the orientation it's in now.
What does this orientation mean?
Someone is going to steal something from him, but he does not know what, neither do I, because these fortunes are generally vague.
He should probably get back to the Foundation then. or at least alert others. Haha.
He said he had a plan. Plan is beyond anything I know. I'm just simply told to speak with you and see what you had on the situation, which seems to be similar to what I told him.
Is there any guidance? Do we know if other teams have been sent in?
As of now, this threat is only new, or is relatively new, so they haven't had the chance to react. I assume he's
But
going to
there's
start having people hunt this individual down, but part of me has told him that it's a bit ill-advised.
I think Dalgamane would agree. He is the better half, so to speak. It would be rash to throw more bodies into the mix without knowing what we're up against.
To be honest, I think Errol's more afraid of something happening to Dalgamane than himself. Anyway,
Yeah, that probably, yeah, that makes sense.
he did also ask,
I
as you watch him kind of like collect up the cards, he says he wants me to see if your fortune has changed since the last time we spoke.
mm,
And you see him grab the tarot cards and start doing his normal shuffling. And as he does, he pulls out the 3 cards one by one. He places the same one that was the first for Errol's, the same way as you. And he kind of gives a nod when he places that card down. He says, "You and Errol have very similar histories. Being someone lost without a purpose and eventually being brought into something greater than yourselves." And he draws the second card from it. You see a depiction of the moon in a brightly, like a full moon, in a cloudless sky, stars shining around it. And at the base of the card, a mirror showing a blurred and muddled depiction of the moon. And he simply says, unlike Errol, being chosen by a devil, such as Dalcamane, you have been gifted that of transformation, which often is indicated by the moon. And as he draws the final card and kind of pulls it, this last card showing, where is it? The last card depicting a this elven teen on the top part of the card, holding up a divine sword, as a crowd around him cheers and praises him, a light shining down upon him and only him, a grin of confidence on his face, while the opposite end of the card, the side upside down to you, is a dwarven man huddled against a wall in beggar's clothing. In his hands is a sword similar to the elves, but he has a look of hopelessness upon his face instead of that of triumph and confidence. And you see Cal look a bit confused by this card, kind of almost unexpected by it. He kind of like moves his finger over it a few times as he's like deciphering what it would mean for you before like looking you in the eye and just saying, it looks like your future has chosen you for something.
The
Whatever-
side facing me is my future, correct?
Yes, the top half of the card is what
So-
you drew essentially.
So would that be the dude huddled in the corner?
No, that's the opposite one. The elven
Oh.
one. Which is why he says that you are chosen for something.
Mm. Well, there's hope. I guess you live up to your names.
Kind of shrugs and just says, not many get this card specifically. I have seen more draw the rejected side of this instead of the chosen. In my time doing this, you're probably one of 3.
I know the other's still alive.
One of them is. The other one was quite a long time ago, and the path that he was chosen for was to die a martyr for a cause that he heavily believed in. Though I don't think that's necessarily what you've been chosen for.
I wouldn't be opposed.
I know you wouldn't. You're just like Errol in
But at
that
least-
aspect.
Less so of who cares about life and more of if I die a martyr, at least I held strong to what I believed in.
Kind of gives a
So we
nod.
differ in
just-
that way.
Though you are similar in more ways than you would believe.
Yeah,
Kind
that's
of-
what I'm afraid of.
He kind of gathers up the cards and says, I know you brought others with you. Why don't we go and speak with them, see if any of them would like me to show them their futures now that our business is done.
What are the rest of my fire team? They're an interesting bunch. I have some hope for them.
Maybe
like
they're good.
it.
Maybe they'll be good for you, like we were for Errol.
I kind of crawl out of the tent.
And I'll say
I gotta sit up.
I'll-
Hold up.
I'll walk out with Cal, and then I'll just say I have some business I need to attend to real quick. I won't be far, and I'm just gonna go outside.
Okay.
I'll send you what I'm doing so you can do the rest of the parties, RP.
Yep.
I crawl out the tent. I'm like, all right, Mr. Magic Man.
Ah, Magic Man.
You do
not
see-
that Magic Man, other Magic
yeah.
Man.
You do see as this amethyst dragonborn, which I haven't described to the rest of you yet. Amethyst dragonborn kind of steps out of the chamber that you had seen your compatriot walk into. This individual, bright amethyst colored scales, clearly an amethyst dragonborn. His eyes that of a kind of a pale blue color. And you can see he is covered in tattoos that are all visible. He's wearing a vest. Not really much of a shirt underneath said vest. Just kind of just the vest. The tattoo on his vest that you are on his chest that you can see looks to be enchanted in some way, kind of moving slightly in its colors, depicting that of almost like a gap within his chest. This kind of hole tattooed into his chest of about 6 inches wide that looks within it almost like the cosmos are trapped within this picture, just infinite stars and galaxies kind of slowly moving about within this tattoo. And at the center, this golden heart that seems to be floating within the space that you can see looks to probably be beating with his own heartbeat. Does anyone speak Draconic or read Draconic?
I believe I do.
Double check real
double
fast.
No,
check.
I am wrong. Wait,
I don't know why, but I
have
feel like
I have
I-
a really high intelligence. Why? How do I only know 2 languages?
I don't know.
Maybe a different chemistry.
I know 5.
You would be able to tell that his on his chest on that heart there is a tattoo that looks to be in Draconic. You wouldn't know what it says. You can see his. I love Draconic as a language. It's my go-to, to be honest. But I'm always playing like Dragonborn or something. You can see on his left arm there's a tattoo of these thorny vines and briars with a black serpent within them. The head of it kind of resting on the back of his hand. A pair of glowing red eyes within the on this serpent. And the way the tattoo looks around his arm, these thorns and briars almost look to be weaving in and out of the skin. Have you ever seen those kind of tattoos? And they almost have a they almost look 3D, like they're actually there. On his right arm looks to be the opposite. This kind of lush green vines with these blossoming flowers on various spots of it. And at the all of it producing kind of this soft divine glow to it, and on the back of his hand a green draconic eye kind of resting on the backside of his hand. You can see around his neck a depiction of 2 serpents wrapping around one black, one white, their tails kind of meeting or kind of hooking onto each other around the clavicle while their heads kind of hover on either side of his windpipe. A slight glow to them, and on his face there is a small half moon resting, kind of cresting the outside of his left eye. And as you see when he comes in, he is holding what looks to be a deck of cards that he's just like mindlessly shuffling through. But
No,
now
nothing. No, nothing from anyone.
yeah.
Hey.
Anyone want to say anything about this individual coming in? Like he hasn't said anything to you. He's just kind of looking over each of you.
I'm kind of just stunned because I can only assume amethyst dragon genetics in general is rare as shit.
Oh yeah, he's very rare.
So
Gem
I'm more or less, like,
dragonborns are rare in general, yeah.
Yeah, I'm essentially just stun locked then.
Yeah, I'm still kind of just chilling, sitting on the chair.
He kind of
It doesn't phase me as much.
Yeah. He kind of looks over each of you that's like within this room. Kind of making eye contact with you, Blackstone. And it's you can just like it's almost like he read your mind as you looked at him. He kind of like makes a gesture, kind of like trying to like not make it seem like it's that big of a deal that he is amethyst, and just says, "You're not the first to look at me that way. Probably won't be the last, as my kind are not that common anymore."
No, you can say that again. I have so many questions about just your lineage, but I'm going to refrain from asking.
Based on the way you speak, I can definitely guess the type of arcana that you study.
I try and spread my knowledge as far and wide as I can, but there are a few aspects I go deep on instead of wide.
Kind of gives a nod and said, "I wasn't all that much of a studier of the arcane myself, but ended up quite attuned to unforeseen callings. And as he kind of says that, the deck of cards is kind of between his hands. He kind of runs his hand over it really quickly, and you see the deck kind of like almost like spin into the like it's like one card after another kind of comes off it, but they almost seem to like float through the air and like shuffle themselves for a second before returning to his hand.
Nice.
And he he kind of like looks between all of you. He says, how are, if you don't mind me asking, how are all of you faring with this war that is occurring?
Money. I mean, we're making bank off of it, so.
Kind of shrugs and just says, that is how many people have looked at this. It is a easier way to process the battles that are raging, I guess. Have any of you encountered something unexplainable recently?
I mean, would that one really powerful Dragonborn guy that we killed not too long ago be kind of unexplainable?
Are you asking DM or are you asking him?
I'm kind of asking the party in general.
Ghost, who's kind of standing off to the side, kind of shakes his head. Just says, we kind of knew about him, not what he could do, but we definitely knew about him. Cal kind of gives a smile towards Soap or Ghost for a moment, and just looks back to you and just says, I assume you do a lot of studying of the arcane. Have you ever dabbled with any sort of fortune telling?
He's talking to me, you said?
Yes.
I know about it. I know different ways that it can be done. I myself have never actually attempted.
If you're curious, any of you, and he kind of looks to all of you and just kind of says, I can take a glimpse into your future if you would like.
Drac would volunteer herself.
Okay. I need to pull up my... Did I actually import my tarot cards? No, I didn't. Okay. You come in. If you would like to move your token in, do this.
Okay.
I need to get my percentile dice out because I need one of them for this. Thought I had one out. I was wrong. He kind of waves a hand, and this kind of almost translucent surface appears that he places like the deck of cards on. And I will roll real quick. I once again am asking for your financial support. I keep closing something and then I'm like, wait, I need to reopen this over and over again. Okay. The first card that he draws looks to be a cloaked figure. The top of the card is the cloaked figure looking down towards a diamond, the one I explained earlier. Kind of reaching towards the diamond that is at the bottom of the card for you as he kind of looks over it. I will say Blackstone, you will notice as he's doing this fortune telling, the tattoo on the back of his right hand, the one of the dragon eye, it is glowing.
So this is absolutely 100% magically done. Got it.
Yes. If it's magic he controls, you don't know. You just know that there is magic. It channels through him to do this. As he kind of, pulls out this first card, Wrath, and kind of shows it to you, placing it down. He just says, you had something stolen from you at a very young age. Something that was of great value to you at the time, but has inevitably led you down this path.
Oh, yes. As I said earlier, my parents continue.
He kind of gives a nod and he draws another card. Yep, that's what I thought it would be. These cards are crazy because they seem to say the exact thing I need them to say when I just roll for them. He pulls out another card. The top of the card for you shows the depiction of a furbolg man walking through a lush forest, gently placing a hand under a flower hanging from a tree above him. Lush vines and leaves border this portion of the card, while the side that's upside down to you is one of an unmarked grave, appearing to be weathered, so that the engravings on it have become unreadable. It appears to be night, a light fog hovering around it, producing a gloomy scene. As he kind of pulls out this card and just he simply just kind of shrugs, and this one just says, it appears as of now, regardless of all things that has happened to you, you seem to be living a fairly decent life, something that many people right now do not have, especially those that are being forced in ways in Gorgana. And it seems that not much is dying in your path, at least the things that are important to you. He says, and as for your future, number 5. I rolled all very, very low things for this, which is crazy. Okay. The last card that he draws is that of 2 orbs, one black and one of white. The black orb appearing to be the top of the card for you, as this orb seems to be absorbing the light around it, kind of producing this void-like darkness on the top of the card, while near the bottom is that of light that seems to be trying to counter this darkness. And as he, kind of a grim look kind of falls over his face for a moment, just says, even though things are well as of now, there is a darkness in your future, maybe not something produced by you, but something that awaits you. Something that will seek out to snuff out all the light within your future. And as he finishes this statement, the tattoo on the back of his hand ceases its glowing.
Well, that was ominous.
Kind of gives a nod and he says,
It's kind of the idea.
It generally is, unfortunately. Though, as a note, these cards do not necessarily tell your... it speaks of a possible future instead of the one that you will get. You can attempt to, by very careful means, counteract the cards, but it's best to let life run its course and see if the cards change themselves. But that's the only advice I can give for that.
Keep that in mind. Thank you.
He looks to the other three of you, or the other four of you in the room, and just says, would either of you like a shot at this?
I mean, after the last one, I'm kind of scared to, but I might as well.
He kind of gives a nod, and, as he kind of moves towards you, kind of hovering a hand over you for a moment before beginning, producing the solid arcane space in front of him, and begins drawing a card again. The first card. Does this card actually go with your past? That's fucking crazy.
Whoa, man.
Actually, I think I might be doing these wrong. Give me a moment. Oh no, I'm not doing them wrong. There's no right way to do these cards. It's just there's like 3 ways to do it. So I'm actually going to use a different method for this one. Okay. Remind me of your character's past again, because I just want to make sure that I'm speaking this correctly.
Orphan child at early age, brought in to be taught magic by grandfather, who didn't tell me he was my grandfather, who is actually straight up just a very powerful wizard, I would assume, question mark.
Okay. That's all I need to know because this
and-
card's perfect for you.
Oh, okay.
The top of the card that he draws, it shows that of a half-orc individual chained and locked up in a dungeon, seeming to be starving and hopeless. Their body seems to be covered in bruises and cuts, one of their eyes swollen shut and blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. The other shows a half-orc woman being offered a hand as a light shines down on her weathered face. Hope is present in her eyes and a look of gratitude and peace on her face. As he kind of places this before you and kind of looks to you for a moment, just says, as many seem to these days, you seem to have been one of the many damned individuals at an early point in your life. Someone not necessarily cast out, but left with more burdens than opportunities. Things that may have formed you to what you are, but have also probably left a continuous reminder of where you came from and the things you may or may not have had. Drawing the second card. I made a typo. There we go. No, my calculator, come back. There we go. No, that's the wrong dice. I need this dice. There we go. Okay. This next card that he pulls out shows a kind of mirroring two similar environments that seem to be mirroring one another in some way. At the top of the card, there seems to be a gnomish woman in the middle of a gleeful laugh, joy radiating from her face. The bottom, the same woman, but tears coming from her helpless eyes, her hair in disarray as she appears to be in the middle of grieving. Placing this card down, without even looking at you, kind of gives a nod, and as he says, as many who have received this card before you, you seem to be in a point of life of enjoyment and discovery, for some, as you seem to be in a place that you could say that you were content with. That was so broad. I feel like that was a terrible explanation, but that's what I got right now.
Like most tarot card readings.
Yeah, well, these ones have all, when I've done this in the past, without me even trying, the tarot cards have come true. So it's kind of crazy. Okay, next card. Nine, five, four. Interesting. That is. No, I want to see what happens when I do
Oh
it this way.
no.
Give me a second. I'm curious of something real quick. Yeah, no, that one makes more sense. Okay. Looking at the next card. Placing down, once again, 2 mirroring environments. The top of the card for you shows a sickened, disease-ridden man standing in an alleyway within some sort of slums, his body looking to be rotting and dying as rats move around his feet. The bottom of the card showing that of a plague doctor with a medical bag in hand on one side and a black walking stick in his other. He seems to be standing in a dark alleyway looking forward while crushing a rat beneath the walking stick. Once again, kind of grim look falling upon his face. And without looking at you, just says, moment, let me write something down. He kind of pauses for a moment. Says, your future shows a possible infection of sorts, either that of a disease or possibly a mindset or instinct of sorts that may plague you in a way that may hurt those around you, if not yourself. And with such a card, I recommend treading carefully and being careful with any afflictions you come across.
Now,
And-
I'm like completely lost in thought. I kind of like give him a slight nod, and I'm like hard staring at the cards the entire time. And I look up at him direct in the eye, and I go. Well, actually, I look him direct in the eye, and I want to roll insight.
Okay, roll an insight check.
I feel as though he's getting more than he's telling me.
Okay, roll an insight check.
The dice want to know, Mr. DM.
Did you roll a natural 20 again?
I rolled a natural fucking 20.
Oh my god.
The dice want to know, Mr. DM.
Here's the thing, you're rolling all of them now in the R&R session. You're going to have a terrible time coming the new
All
year when we
ones.
do all once. You're going to roll every attack terribly.
I cast immolation nat 1. I immolate myself.
You know, so you can tell he's not necessarily holding something back, but may have, or yeah, it's not that he knows something that you don't. It's more of he's inferring based on this card a little more information that he may or may not be specifying. Does that make sense?
I'm gonna hold the eye contact, right, and just ever so slightly incline my head as if I know that he's not telling me everything. Blank face, you know.
He glances towards the others in the room for a moment and then looks back to you. And without moving his lips or saying a word himself, you hear within your head him say, "It is an affliction that all soldiers eventually have. The darkness of war eventually overtaking them and forcing them to do things that they would have never done before."
PTSD. He's talking about PTSD.
Essentially, yes.
I'm kind of like, you know, I have the thought like is he talking about PTSD? But I'm
you
not
get
like meaning to send it to
yeah,
him. I
you
guess,
get the
but I
you
have
get
the
the
thought.
feeling you get the feeling that though the way he described it, it sounds like PTSD for sure, yes. But in a war ridden with magic, it may not
It's
necessarily
gotta
be
be
PT.
something else.
It's it may not be PTSD he's talking about. There are other things out there.
Hmm. I give him a sharp nod, and I go back to my contemplating. I'm just dead silent, stone face, like standing there with in the like, you know, I had to do it to him pose. just thought.
He's gonna tap your shoulder or pat your shoulder and just say, "It's definitely not the worst fortune I've drawn for someone recently. It's not a great one either, but it can be manageable."
Insight. He's talking about himself, ain't he?
Sure, roll an insight check.
The dice want to know.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 19, so it's +8. It's
God damn.
27.
You get the feel. Yes, you do get the feeling like there a little bit of that is about him. Though I will say, with your knowledge of the arcane or the arcane, he did not draw his own fortune because a fortune teller cannot tell his own fortune. More of he was probably given a vision of what was to come of him, or he encountered another fortune teller who told him. And what you would also know is fortune tellers who are given their fortunes, those fortunes are locked in place. They cannot change their fortunes because they are already intertwined with fate.
So I kind of like, you know, reach up to his hand on my shoulder and I pat it and I go, I nod again. Yeah, the sorrow, you know, just evident on my face, and and I begin to back away towards the opening of the cave.
He
I'm just
gives
gonna
you
hang out over here.
a reassured smile. You can definitely tell there he doesn't have any sorrow on his face when he kind of, even though he's referring to like probably himself and others that have had terrible fates that have been predicted. There's a reassurance behind it of you can tell he's accepted this by this point. As grim as it may be, he has accepted that he is going to go down a certain way.
Gotta be done.
And he steps around the fire and looks between Raw, Anthony, and Ghost. And Ghost kind of shakes his head and just says, "I'd rather leave that to chance." And Soap's just gonna walk out the door. Two of you, Raw and Anthony. He stands between all of you, kind of looking between, or looks between the two of you. Curious if you are desiring to have your fortune told.
No.
He just looked at the two guys that like actively did it and just got really sad afterward. It was like, nah, I'm not doing this.
It kind of gives you a nod, Anthony. Just he seems unfazed by your appearance. Like the others, kind of like for like a moment or two, like really showed like, oh shit, like we've never seen a giant insect before. But then kind of just like accepted the fact that you were there and was just like, whatever. Like he seems chill. He is unfazed entirely. He did not react to you in any way. He looked at you as if you were just another person. Ra, what about you? Our Cyclops. Is he muted still?
No, Soap is.
Ra. Cyclops?
Damn.
Ooh.
Cyclops.
Oh.
I don't think he's here.
Not sounding.
What's up?
Oh, no, I'm saying Cyclops.
Oh,
I need to read what you sent me, though, of what you were doing. Okay, we'll get to you in a second. I want to see if Cyclops will answer me. I'm giving him to the count of 10.
1, 2, 3.
4, 5. Six.
That was the Tootsie Pop meme.
Yeah, I
The
know.
Tootsie Pop.
Yeah, I was like encapsulated by it. I was like, I'll just let him keep counting.
Do they still show that? I don't
No.
watch
Yes,
cable.
actually.
Oh, wait, they
every
do?
now and then.
I see memes of it, but that's about it.
Listen, I remember seeing a fucking football, a Super Bowl commercial from like 15 years ago. Come on, not that long ago.
Football, 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 football. Sorry.
I agree.
You triggered a core memory of just me showing football. Anywho. I've been getting a lot of those today. I've been getting hit with a lot of core memories. It's been weird. They make me do weird things. I don't understand it. Soap. My boy Soap.
I think
You
he's
gonna-
definitely.
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
there
up?
he is. Never mind.
No, he was just muted.
I'm here. I'm here.
Roll
Hold
me.
on. I'll get headphones in.
I wanna
Yeah.
love you.
All right. What's up?
Roll me. Roll me religion. I think you get advantage with religion.
I do.
Bay knowledge. Yeah, roll religion.
Alright, I will roll religion. First, what is bonus? I have a +1. Alright, that was a 13 plus 1 is a 14. That's an 18 plus 1 is 19.
All right. The DC was not very high for this, considering she has been wanting you to do this. As you kind of meditate, kind of sitting outside while the others get their fortunes read, you kind of sitting there, legs crossed, kind of sitting upon a stone. The coin sitting within your open hands. What the fuck?
What the fuck was that?
What was that?
That was my cousin sucking dick at fucking Overwatch.
Oh.
Oh.
It just-
Hey, Jinx.
Anywho, as you're doing this, you feel the cold air kind of around you become warm. And there's a moment, you know, you're breathing normal, everything seems to be normal, but you almost feel like you are submerged in water. There's no panic or anything. It's a very almost relaxing feeling of just warmth and just the quiet of being submerged, essentially. Like ears strain, everything else, but you're breathing as normal.
Yeah, I feel like Soap would have probably meditated with the Wendigo spirit and have gone to that little place. So this is nothing new.
And as you're doing that, you do feel the coin in your hand beginning to essentially burn, like not like in heat wise, but like it's beginning to like dwindle, melt away essentially. And as you like open your eyes while in this meditative state, you don't see the space around you anymore. You are sitting in essentially darkness. Though there is light casting down on you. There's no light source, but it seems as if there is light casting on you. And as you look down into your hand, you can see the coin becoming dust, kind of slowly fading away and kind of swirling up into the air and kind of heading into the darkness in front of you. And as you kind of like follow it with your eyes, you do see a pair of very large pinkish colored eyes in the dark. That after the coin is completely vanished, kind of move forward slightly, and you, within your headspace, being in this meditative state, are face to face with the axolotl itself. And this thing is massive. Like, in sheer size, probably like 50 feet tall. And could easily, this is like the size of a creature that could easily like crush you under its foot or swallow you whole.
Yeah, there's like one
And
bite.
as it kind of like stops like mere feet from your face, you hear a very gentle voice in your head that simply says, "Thank you for returning him to me. He is in good hands now."
I'll kind of like, what's the? I don't know how to describe the bow, but like knees on ground, hand down, just bow and be like, apologies for holding on to him for so long. I wish I could have saved him when he was alive, but I figured the entity that took him had no right to keep his soul trapped.
As you're kind of in this bowed position, you do feel like the breath of this thing kind of go over you for a moment. And it's you hear the voice in your head say, "It was his time to pass." Something that I showed him before it occurred. And now that he has fulfilled his purpose and has come back to me, he will be able to rest with the others that followed the same path as him. And as this is said, you can feel it almost like nudged the top of your head, and then you are snapped back like to reality, like eyes open up and you are sitting in the cave again.
Hmm.
And as you're doing that about 10 feet away, you can see Ghost leaned against a rock, arms crossed, kind of watching you. Kind of eyebrow raised, a little confused, and just says, "Falling asleep over there?"
Who? What?
No, uh, not not you.
No.
Are you
Okay.
falling asleep?
Did I call you out without meaning to call you out?
No. I just wanted to make sure he wasn't talking to me.
Snap
Man,
back
so
to
cold.
reality at the wrong time.
No, I'll say, no, I needed to return Ven's spirit or soul back to his god or goddess. I don't know what It is. It's an axolotl. That's all I know.
He nods, clearly not fully grasping what you're talking about, but he nods. He's like, I guess that makes sense.
I don't know either. I get the feeling it was Fae in nature, so you know how that is. Maybe? Do you? Have you been to the Fae? It's not fun.
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
So I've heard. I've purposely avoided places of magic because I don't really care for it.
It does have something to teach, especially from the old gods. Anyways, what's the rest of the group up to?
Cal's scaring them with fortune telling.
That's what he does best.
I'm
And-
like traumatized.
If it's
Yeah, you can s-
anything like
You can
the
see
past
Blackstone standing in
fortune
the
tellings, it's probably
doorway.
gonna.
Like you
I'm
can see
just gonna look at
Blackstone
Blackstone and
standing
be
in the
like,
doorway, and like he looks traumatized.
so what? He tell you you're gonna die or something? Because if that's the case, it's nothing new.
I look at him and go, not me.
Oh, who?
I look back outside.
All right. Well, someone got told someone's gonna die, so that's about right for his antics.
Like we're on.
We're on track. This is a canon event. I can't change it.
Soap just kind of shakes his head. Our ghost just kind of shakes his head and just goes, I would rather leave this to chance. I don't want to know what's going to happen.
I would recommend it. It adds a little spice to things. You think you'll know what's coming, and then it'll just give you a nice little curveball.
Yeah, I'm probably. Yeah, I think I've seen enough. I'll wait in the car.
I'll wait in the car.
I'll come back in. The coin has disappeared from my hand.
Yeah,
right?
coin's gone. You don't have the coin anymore.
I notice anything different happen.
No.
All right, cool. No curses. Let's go.
Soap kind of just sighs and just kind of goes over to Cal, and you just hear him go, all right, I've been convinced by Soap. Show me what is in store for me.
I'm gonna eagerly sit down and be like, I want to see this.
You see Cal kind of give him a nod and begin shuffling through the deck. And as he goes through it, he pulls out the same card he pulled for you the first time. And simply states, you've, as your friend here, and he gestures to you, who's standing beside him, you, at a very young age, lost something, or at least within the distant past, lost something that meant everything to you. And you can see as he's saying this, you see this is something you don't normally see out of Ghost, but there's a very, very slight rage in him when he mentions losing something. Something that you haven't seen in him. Like, he doesn't get angry usually. The fact that there's a slight notion of it means this is something that was very, very personal to him. And as Cal kind of places the first card down and begins kind of shuffling through it, the deck again, and draws the next card. You see the card that was Errol's last card, the one of the thief. Though it is not pointed towards Ghost, but is pointed away from Ghost.
Interesting.
And Cal kind of raises an eyebrow towards him and says, I assume you look to avenge what happened to you, taking away something from those who stole from you first. Sorry, I'm messaging something. And then you see like that slight anger in Ghost slightly increase a little more. And you know Ghost on a very like personal level. You've spent a lot of time with Ghost. He has never mentioned these things to you. So all of this is new. And as he
All I'm saying before this last card gets ready, I'm just gonna get ready in case homie tries to, throw hands or something, just to intervene.
Okay.
Not like, not making any like body gestures just for like noticeable, still having like a relaxed demeanor, but I'm watching.
You watch as Cal draws the very last card, and before he can place it down like he normally would, the card leaves his hand and just begins to spin in place. You can see from the card, it's not spinning fast, but it's spinning just enough to like keep it going. You see, where is it? I just had it, and it decided to run away from me. Give me a moment. How the heck? Oh, there it is. You see the top part of the what would normally be the top part of this card. You see an amethyst dragonborn in colorful bardic clothes playing a lute with a crowd of people around him looking up with hope in their eyes. He seems to be producing a slight glow around him as if he is radiating some sort of divine energy. On the bottom, a large figure in black armor holding out one hand while also drawing a rusted sword in the other. Rats running from him towards the people who are running away from him. A radiant darkness seeming to stretch off this individual, pulling the light from the space around him. And this card is just spinning. And Cal looks rather confused. Looks to Ghost and just says, your future is a bit strange. You seem to teeter between possible destruction and possible salvation. Maybe of yourself, maybe of others around you, but you, at the moment, walk a very fine line that must be tread very, very carefully. And you can see, like, the anger is now very apparent in Ghost's face, as it seems he knew these things that Cal is saying. And before, like, as Cal is, like, finishing this explanation, he just produces one, like, loud, like, huff, and is just going to turn on his heels, and he's just walking out the door.
Like that.
I'll just look at Cal, kind of shrug. Just be like, at least it didn't rip your throat out, So I'd say that was a good reading.
He wasn't going to. I knew that much. And you see him, like, go to grab the card that's, like, still spinning, and as he does, he kind of yanks his hand back. You see, like, a drop of blood drip from his fingers, and he go, like, kind of sucks on his thumb or his finger for a second. Kind of looking at the card a bit confused. Um, before kind of waving his hand over it, and it kind of counter spinning against itself, where it eventually slows, and then it slides itself back into the deck without him touching it.
Hmm.
As he kind of puts the deck of cards away and looks towards you and just says, if I'm to be completely honest, your master had a few interesting readings like that one. So I'm not surprised.
See, if I had managed to catch him, I'll have to get him to tell me.
Yes.
I appreciate everything.
It was good to see you again and to meet all of your compatriots.
Likewise, it was good to see the familiar faces again. Hopefully, you guys don't need to do any more errands.
Knowing Errol, this is but one of many that has yet to come.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping he'll leave the more dangerous ones to other parties.
We
Don't
haven't
want to
had to
put
do
you
anything
guys in harm's
dangerous.
way.
Yes, we haven't had to do anything dangerous to the one situation that recently happened. As you see, as he says it, you can see Jabbers kind of glance up from his loot, and he kind of sets it down and kind of gets to his feet and kind of starts making his way over. This is left us a little more surprised than normal, as that was not Errol's fault that we ran into them. They seem to have been hunting us down.
If you don't mind me
Jabber,
asking, how many were there?
just the one. Jabbers kind of pitches in and just kind of says, I've seen that kind of power once before. A long
Can I,
time ago.
while he's talking, can I try to mimic the whistle the guy did?
Sure, roll me a performance.
Oh fuck. I have a negative modifier. Let's go. Um, that'd be a 15.
You get a decent, it's not too hard to do it, but like it's not perfect. It definitely resembles it. And as you do that, you can see every feather on Jabber's body kind of all stand up and like quiver for a moment as he kind of like clenches his fists. Um,
So at least they have that in common.
he kind of pauses and says, the individual that attacked us resembled that of, I don't know if Errol ever told you the stories that the others told him, was resembled that of the Skullhound. The thing that I had to with the individuals I traveled with had to kill before the whole endeavor that Errol got pulled into with some of our party and left the remaining of us behind. For a brief time.
I've heard stories, but with my interaction, it definitely seemed to fit the description with the clones and all of that. At first, I thought it might have been something similar to that of an Echo Knight's cloning, or even a is it called a simulacrum?
A simulacrum is, yeah, like it's a
Yeah,
kind of a copy of yourself, but not quite.
yeah, or even a simulacrum, but they were very different from them. So,
What did you witness again? What what was the entity that you encountered? You said a lupin, but was he something before he changed?
More specifically, a skullhound in lupin form with a moon glaive.
You see
Summoned
Jabber's
a
eyes widen, the kind of fear present as you describe this. He kind of gives a nod and says, "There is a very high possibility that we encountered the same individual. And there is even higher possibility that, if I'm correct, he is hunting down all of those associated with something that occurred to his master. AKA the death that my party caused and the issues that Errol's party caused."
Very fitting that we're discussing this in the temple of the god of vengeance.
Yes. Though I know nothing of this god, and I assume this individual has no interactions with her.
Probably not, but ironic nevertheless. It'll be fine. He'll die just like his master did. Eventually.
Sorry.
What did you say?
It's
What?
intense as shit for no reason. The conversation.
Yes. R&R is just not R&R this session, is it?
Eh.
Instead, we've stressed out the party. Nothing has happened, but like you're all very tense now.
Well, let me tell
Nothing's
you, I'm
happened.
rested. I'm definitely not relaxed though.
I'm rested, not
We-
relaxed.
Yeah, you know, just some good old fun fortune telling. Hey, here's your past. Also, someone in the future is gonna die. Woo! Spooky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jabbers nods and just says, I just tread carefully for all of our sakes. Because I'd rather him not kill you and then, if I'm correct, gain more power and come after us again. Because we barely escaped last time.
Oh, we'll be fine. Yeah, we'll be good, all right? You guys look at your party. You got members from the heroes of Almoria. You're in good hands.
Zeal, who's the one sitting by the fire, who's been kind of like stirring the pot that's there, and just kind of pipes up, and she just says, yeah, but we're not really much of fighters.
Well, if you see that message again, don't trust it. That's what I'm going off of. We'll probably be switching around some of the phrases. Maybe even on a weekly basis, so they don't get picked up. Who knows? Not my call. I'm just hired arms.
You are more than that, but essentially, yes, by title, that is what you are. And this is Jabbers talking. And kind of pats your shoulder and just kind of says, stay safe. We'll do the same, but
Yeah, safe travels. Don't get caught up in any more of Errol's dirty laundry, I guess.
Cal is just gonna say, We'll try our best, but there's not really any promises we could make on that.
Well, we best get going. We're probably gonna get yelled at anyways for taking this vehicle.
Safe travels, all of you, and may the gods look over you as you travel. And Cal is going
I
to
just met
turn
that.
and is going to disappear back into the temple itself.
I was gonna look at Jabbers and be like, I just met the axolotl god, and then turn around like that's not like a big deal or anything, and just walk off.
He like tilts his head to the side and is just like, who? Just never gets his answer. He's just gonna shake his head and turn and go
Meow.
back and sit next to the fire. Oh, there he goes, racing off
Sweet.
again.
60 feet of movement, baby. Let's go. Meow. This is a big ass map, boy.
Yeah, it's 50 by 50.
Oh, look, there's a cave.
Oh my god. He's somewhere. I don't. Jesus Christ, my guy. Anyways, we'll go back to this screen so you can't run around anymore. Taking that away from you. The lot of you get into the vehicle. Cyclops is asleep in the back seat. Kind of just unconscious. Soap is sitting in the middle front seat. Actually, he's in the driver's seat right now. Just you can see he probably threw a bit of a fit before he got in because you can see some of the dirt has been tossed up around the vehicle. You do also notice there is a rock that has been. It was a smooth rock before. It's not anymore. And when you get into the vehicle, you can see that one of his fingers currently is bleeding slightly. He more than likely broke a claw on this rock.
I'd get him some cloth so he could wrap up his fingers.
Yeah, he's just like sitting in the front seat, like hands kind of, they're not on the wheel, but he's like kind of sit back, his head kind of like facing the ceiling or whatever, and he's just kind of sitting there.
Question. Do I have holly leaf?
No. Because you are a soldier, you do not have drugs on the base.
But I have cigarettes, right?
Cigarettes are different.
That's a common drug. That's a legal drug.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm gonna spark up a cigarette, and I'll pass him one. I'll just put it in his mouth slowly and light it.
He kind of like lets his head sink back down to like face you as you kind of light it. He takes one very long drag. Like more than half this cigarette is gone with this single drag. And then just as long as he took it in, he just lets out one very long exhale of just smoke.
I'll do some more RP in a second, but I'm gonna walk Kenzie downstairs.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing as you climb into the vehicle? Where are you climbing into the vehicle? Same seats as before?
Same seat for me. We'll sit down.
Black smoke? Stone? Black smoke. You've no longer a rock. You are now a gas.
I just keep getting worse.
He's
Stone
not
the
going
rock,
to
the rock, the gas.
Why will he become a plasma?
Because I'm thinking about cigarettes and I just thought of black smoke.
As he's exhaling, I'm just turning into gas.
Oh no!
No, fuck. I'm gonna get back, and I'm kind of just gonna curl up against the door for a nap. But or that's what I'm trying to make it look like.
Yeah.
That I'm going to be traumatized.
Staring into the middle distance, into the back seat.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Kind of curled.
roll me a performance or deception check to see if you can hide your trauma.
Damn, I'm really good at hiding my trauma.
What did you roll?
It was a performance or a what?
Performance or deception, your choice.
Well, they're both the same. So I got a dirty 20.
God damn. Okay. Do a pretty good job. You don't think anyone notices you're traumatized. Anthony, I assume you go in the center seat again?
Yep.
You're a big insect. You just take up the whole center row. By this point, I'm pretty sure it's just what's happening. Soap ends up sitting in the middle seat, and Ghost ends up turning on the vehicle and beginning to drive. Kind of rolling down one of the windows to let the smoke out as he's smoking. Which, not long after he gets that cigarette, flicks it out the window once you guys don't get, like, maybe a mile out from this place because it's gone. It's just the filter left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This motherfucker stressed the shit.
Just angry.
If this were like Darkest Dungeon, everyone's meter is at like 3/4.
No, not Anthony. Anthony's pretty chill.
Except for him. He's the one guy that just did like.
Actually, Anthony
saw
and
nothing.
Cyclops, neither of them did their fortune. They just were like, I don't care. Just walked out.
Fuck you, man.
Soap didn't want to. Or not Soap. Ghost didn't want to, but then got convinced to. And Wrath was like, yeah, I'll do it. Traumatized. I feel like you only did it because it was an arcane thing, and you're just like, why? Why did I do this to myself?
I must. My thirst for knowledge.
I want my baba.
So I'm putting into chat what this the fortune felt like.
Uh-oh. Oh, is it the slap competition of just getting
the
absolutely
motherfucking slap of
fucking
goddamn god?
wrecked? Yeah.
Sounds like a goddamn gunshot.
Boom. Dude died. Okay, you guys are driving back. It's been like 2 hours of silence. Ghost had like finished his cigarette like almost immediately after you guys left and like flicked it out the window.
Yeah.
But he's driving and he's just like eyes forward, clearly still angry, but like trying not to show it, and he's not doing a very good job. You definitely see there's a bit of red in his eyes.
Oh, cool. He's like full rage.
Is it rage or is it something else?
Is it sauce?
He does not have the sauce.
No, he's definitely lost in it right now.
Yes,
That's for sure.
it's barbecue, or not barbecue sauce. It's buffalo sauce, bro. That shit burns your
Morventon.
eyes. It's Morventon. Fucking hate you.
I guess. So, what did everyone think? Good fortunes, bad fortunes, yay, nay.
I refer you to the video in chat.
You asked this, and a very, very low, quiet kind of growl comes from Soap or Ghost. I keep getting your names confused. Ghost.
silence it is.
And as you guys finish this drive and get back to the barracks, he pulls up like not far from the barracks and just kind of like it makes a hand gesture of like clear out.
As I notice
Um,
people getting out of the vehicle, I'm just gonna and just climb out myself.
Okay, so you each like one by one climb out of the vehicle.
Did I
Um,
leave or should I stay?
you do what you want. He's just telling people like we're here. You can clear out.
Kid.
You need some time to process.
He kind of gives you kind of a side eye and just lets out a sigh and just says, I already knew what he was going to tell me. And it just enrages me that that is what it is, even though I keep telling myself it's not.
The cards do change. If anything, from what I've noticed, it goes off of your current mindset for that moment. So, if that gives you any hope of something different,
As everyone by this point is out of the car and they're already moving to the barracks, he just kind of lets out a sigh. He's no longer looking at you. He just kind of has his head down slightly. Just says, the thing he said last about my future, he is 100% right to say that I can either destroy everything or essentially save a lot of people. And
well,
it all comes down to if I can control myself when the time comes and pick the right path instead of choosing vengeance against those who took everything from me. And I
seeing
don't
how
think I'll
you,
make the right choice. Well, that's the last thing he says. I don't think I'll
I
make the right choice.
was gonna say, seeing how you got my back. For my instances, it's only fair that I do the same for you.
It gives a nod. There's a long pause again. It looks to you, the red that had been in his eyes most of the drive seems to have slightly faded a bit. He just says, I'll keep that in mind. It's good to know that at least somebody does. That's not Gale.
I'll give him a little fist bump, and I'll be like, I'll let you do your thing.
And as you kind of get out, he says, hopefully nobody sees me return this. And if not, I'll be talking to Tallow later.
I'm gonna kind of raise an eyebrow and be like, "Is that your concern? Cause I got you."
He shakes his head and says, no, I could care less if I get chewed out for this.
I mean, if you need a quick distraction,
He kind of waves you off and just says, it'll be fine.
Way to make that sound overly sexual for no reason.
No, I was just gonna transform real quick and do a run by of the front gate.
After he does that, gets you to close the door, he drives off towards the motor pool, leaving you to catch up to the rest of your party.
Yeah.
Is there anything else anyone else is trying to do before the session ends? Our final session of the
Oh.
year.
I'm just gonna look at Soap and be like, I need a drink. There a
I
bar
need
here.
a smoke.
You
You
guys
know
do
where I
have
can get some holly leaf?
Do we have holly leaf? What type of drug? What type of drug are we talking here? Are we talking like narcotic?
Holly
It's
leaf.
basically
So
weed.
I will tell you, holly leaf is like weed. I made a fantasy version of weed.
Okay.
The drugs you would
Hold
know
up.
that are like okay to get a hold of, like they won't kill you. Holly leaf, Stilmo, and acrid.
Oh, I know who's a big fan of acrid.
You fucking would.
It
Acrid
is so.
like
It's not named after the fucking
psychedelic.
character from Risk. Okay, this was. It's a hallucinogen. Okay.
It's basically mushrooms and acid put together. It's like a love
It's
child.
just LSD. That's all it is. It's just straight LSD.
I don't know. I got shown how I was gonna die. That's more of mushroom territory, my guy.
Yeah. Stilmo is more of a painkiller or a muscle relaxer.
Is there a druid on the base?
You know what? You've been here a while. You know that Fey Company probably has something.
All right, I want tap Blackstone. Be like, we're going to Fate Company.
Oh, those guys.
You're like, oh, they're so weird.
You know, they got the name Faye for a reason.
They all have Fey-like features. That's literally why they're called Fey Company. They have something of the Fey with them. The one you would know in particular that would probably have stuff is specifically Nightshade. The Haragon.
You're looking for fish shit?
I'm gonna go to we're gonna find some holly leaf. I'm gonna go to Nightshade, knock
So
on his door.
You know I'm a Fae, right?
we activate this map again. Raw is gonna end up, or Cyclops is gonna end up going to bed. He just kind of walks off. So fast.
Where was Fate Company located? North, south of where I am.
Yeah, the north. They're in the northern side.
Oh. Raph will go with you, just because she's a Fae too.
Hell yeah!
Okay, move your
All right,
tile.
just tell me when we're there.
You would know it's this door in particular.
That door
Alright,
specifically. All of Faye Company is in it.
No, you would know that's
They're
night.
all in one
you
room.
would know that's Nightshade's room.
I'm gonna just knock.
You knock, and it's like 10 o'clock at night by this point. There's silence for a good
They're
like.
a Fae.
Come on, we know,
alright?
we
They're
know
gonna
the
be up.
goddamn. We know the goddamn stoner is up right now.
There's a good like 10, 15 seconds of pause before you barely. The only reason you could hear it is because you are Lupin. You barely hear the lock undo. And the door comes open. You see him standing in the doorway. Says, "Can I help you with something?"
I'll kind of look around and be like, lean in and be like, "You got any holly leaf by any chance, or can you grow it?"
He peeks his head in the hallway and kind of looks both sides, making sure there's none of the some of the officers that sometimes will pass through here, the soldiers that are just in here to make sure you guys aren't doing anything heinous, and to accompany you with certain tasks such as like using the firing range and stuff like that. He kind of puts up a finger and just says, "Give me a moment." Door closes. You hear, you could barely hear him moving around his room, and he's kind of like shuffling about, And when he comes back, he opens the door. You can see on the desk next to him, there's a box. This box is huge. You don't know how anyone hasn't noticed it. Like it's a good foot long, 8 inches wide, about 10 inches tall, and you can see it is filled with just like different pouches of just stuff. Most of which you could definitely tell is contraband. He's not supposed to have any of this. And yet here he is with a whole chest of it. And he says, what are you wanting in particular?
I won't only speak for myself and let them do their thing, but 2 joints, and do you have any seeds?
I don't have the seeds. I don't
Oh,
really
oh.
give those out when I have those, but
What the fuck does he mean by C?
he wants to grow his own. That's what he's saying.
All right. See, that
He
makes sense.
he reaches into the box and you see him like, you know how like people like juggle a pencil between their fingers?
Yeah.
He's doing this with both of the joints. They're just spinning between his fingers. And then he kind of stops both of them in front of you and just as he kind of pauses, he just says, in exchange for this, if I need a favor, I will cash in.
If you get your hands on a seed, you could call it 5 favors as well.
He kind of shrugs and says, sounds like a good deal to me. Hand you over the 2 joints.
I'm just gonna peace sign. Pleasure doing business. Just go to my room.
As you are heading out,
zooming.
he made like he calls out. He's like, if anyone asks, I wasn't involved.
Understandable.
Involved? Before, yeah, I'm guessing he would say that before I go, and I'm like, involved in what?
Yeah, and Wrath, are you getting anything? Are you trying to get anything from him?
She'll consider it,
Blackstone getting anything?
but she'll
I mean,
pass.
I'll grab one yoint.
She knows better than to favor.
So are you going back Blackstone, or are you?
I mean, before I leave, I'm gonna grab one joint. Be like, thanks.
He'll,
It's been a rough
yeah,
day.
he'll make the same comment to you, just like, I'll let you know when I have a favor that I need cashed in.
Hoo. Nod and salute. The passing salute.
Yeah. And as you walk off again, he says, and as always, I wasn't involved. He glances over to you, Wrath, and he's, kind of looks you over for a moment, just says, what can I help you with?
I was just curious. There's no Fae in my group, so just wanted to see the makeup of yours.
Say that again.
She said, there's no other Fae in my group, so I wanted to see the makeup of yours.
Well, it ain't much, and he just kind of gestures to himself, and he says, I just know how to get a hold of stuff. The rest of them show different gifts than I do. I'm strictly just the one who points and shoots.
Well, I suppose if I need the services of a quartermaster who can obtain things through not so legal channels, I know where to come to.
That's right. He just
Good meeting you.
looks around and says, you as well. He says, you know where to find me. He's going to close the door. You just hear the door lock.
That she'll kind of turn on her heel and leave.
All right. Sorry. Anything else that we would like to do before the session ends? Anything at all?
I had a player RP mode. I don't know if I should follow through.
What are you trying? What do if
I'm
you
already
have something?
traumatized as it is.
If you would like to pursue this, this is the wrong room. I opened the wrong door.
Damn. Bro.
There we go. Fixed it. I fixed my problem.
Nah, I'm not gonna follow through. That's a character choice. It's not a personal choice.
You want to do the RP, but Blackstone said, "Nuh-uh, not tonight. This ain't happening." No. Okay. As you all settle in for the night, those of you who got hold of the recreational drugs begin
I'm saving.
to.
I'm not doing it tonight.
Okay. Well, those of you that are whatever plans you had for the night, resting for the night, or whatever you may have been trying to do, your night ends. Slumber, and the rest of your R&R is taken doing any sort of training or anything else that you need to do. And that's where we will end tonight. I think it's a good place to end this campaign for the year, considering it's kind of leaves a slight bit of a cliffhanger of like, oh, you got your futures. What do they mean? And the next year we're going to hit it hard because we're changing up our scheduling system. We are going to be doing one campaign at a time next year. Plus, I'm trying to get some certifications and stuff, so I don't have time for D&D right now. So I got to focus on that. But enough about me. I will do the outro. We hope you all enjoyed. If you did, follow the Twitch, join the Discord for updates whenever we go live. I don't really use Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called anymore for this because it doesn't seem really to be doing anything. If we start getting more foot traffic, maybe we'll go back to it. I don't know. And if you want to catch up on previous episodes, what'd you say?
I hear Blue Sky's popping off.
Blue Skies?
Blue Sky, it's a Twitter competitor.
Might have to look into that. But if you guys want to catch up on previous episodes of any campaigns that we've done, completed, discontinued, or currently in the making, go check out the YouTube page where I have all the playlists set up just for you to listen to from beginning to end. And as always, we hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.